Every second that passes is a second gone forever. You can't hold on to it, you can't pause it, and you sure as hell can't get it back. And yet most people walk through life like time is an endless resource, wasting hours, delaying dreams, and assuming they'll always have later to get things done. But here's the truth. Time doesn't care about your plans. It won't wait for you to feel ready. It moves forward whether you do or not. Most people don't realize how much time they've wasted until they're standing in front of a mirror, looking at an older version of themselves, wondering where the years went. Think about that. How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, only for tomorrow to turn into next week, next month, next year? Meanwhile, time kept marching on, relentless, unstoppable. So the question is, are you keeping up, or are you falling behind, letting time slip through your fingers while someone else out there is making the most of it? The way you answer that question determines everything. Because the harsh reality is this: the people who understand time, who respect it, who use it wisely, win. And those who take it for granted, they lose. Let's talk about why most people completely misunderstand time and what it's really costing them. Most people live under a dangerous illusion that there's always later, that they'll get around to chasing their dreams eventually, that they have time to waste. But let me ask you something. If time was money, would you spend it so carelessly? Imagine you had a bank account, but you couldn't check your balance. You have no idea how much is left. It could be $100, $1,000, or just a few cents. That's how life works. You don't know how much time you have left, and yet people act as if their balance is infinite. They assume there's always another day, another chance, another moment, until one day there isn't. Look around. How many people do you know who thought they had time but ran out? Dreams left unfulfilled, goals left unfinished, regrets they can never undo. You think you're different? That you have all the time in the world? That's the lie keeping you stuck. You don't have time to waste. And if you don't start acting like it, you'll wake up one day realizing you've spent your life waiting for a moment that never came. They say time is money. They're wrong. Money you can earn back. Time, once it's gone forever. The biggest mistake people make is treating time like a financial budget. They think they can save it, spend it, or invest it wisely the same way they do with cash. But here's the reality. Every second you lose is one you will never get back. You can rebuild your bank account. You cannot rebuild lost time. Successful people don't just work hard. They understand that time is the most valuable asset they own. That's why they don't waste it. They don't trade it for things that don't matter. They don't let distractions steal it. They guard it like their life depends on it, because it does. Look at the world's greatest achievers. They didn't get there because they were the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. They got there because they knew how to use their time when others were wasting theirs. Every moment counts. Every second is shaping your future. And if you're not treating time like your most valuable resource, you're already falling behind. Here's a brutal truth. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. Look at your life right now. Are you living on your own terms, or are you constantly reacting to what's thrown at you? Are you making the most of your hours, or are they being stolen by obligations, distractions, and other people's demands? Most people don't even realize how much of their time is dictated by others. Your boss tells you when to work. Your phone tells you when to scroll. Your surroundings tell you what to focus on. And before you know it, the day's gone wasted on things that don't move you forward. You need to ask yourself, who's really in control of your life? Because if you don't take charge, the world will decide for you. And let me tell you something. The world doesn't care about your dream. It doesn't care if you waste your time. It will gladly keep you distracted, entertained, and occupied while your goals collect dust. It's time to take back control. No more letting time slip through your hands. No more living on someone else's schedule. From this moment on, you decide where your time goes, because if you don't, someone else will decide for you. Let's break down exactly where your time is going and why you keep thinking you have enough of it. Let's confront the biggest lie you tell yourself every single day. I'll do it later. It's comfortable, isn't it? Putting things off, telling yourself that there's always tomorrow. But here's the truth. Later doesn't exist. Later is a fantasy. Later is just another word for procrastination. And let me be clear, procrastination is the enemy of progress. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you are choosing delay over action, comfort over growth. You're deciding that the future will somehow be more convenient, more perfect, more aligned with your desires. But life doesn't work like that. Tomorrow never comes, because when it does, it's called today. And do you know what happens when you keep pushing things back? You lose momentum, you lose opportunities, you lose the ability to take advantage of what you could have done right now. Time slips through your fingers and you're left with regret instead of results. So stop lying to yourself. There is no later, there is only now. If you want something, if you want to change your life, if you want to see your dreams become a reality, you have to act. And you have to act now. Time is like sand slipping through your fingers. You can try to hold on to it, but you can't stop it. It keeps moving, no matter how much you want to pause it or make it slow down. And every moment you waste, every second you delay, falls away like sand falling through the cracks of your hand. Here's the thing about time. It doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care if you meant to do it. All it cares about is what you're doing right now. And the longer you wait, the more sand slips through your fingers. But here's the good news. While you can't stop time, you can shape it. You can decide how you use the time you have. You can choose to fill your days with purpose, with action, with things that will bring you closer to your goals. The power is in your hands. Think about it like this. Time is a river and you are the boat. You can steer it, you can navigate through the rapids, or you can let it drift aimlessly. The choice is yours. Will you take charge and guide your time to where you want to go, or will you let it carry you wherever it pleases? Well, procrastination isn't just stealing time, it's stealing your future. Every moment you put something off, every task you delay is a lost opportunity. You're giving away your chances, your potential, and your success to the thief of procrastination. And while you think you're getting a temporary break, procrastination is robbing you of the life you could be living. When you procrastinate, you delay not just tasks, you delay growth, progress, and the things that matter most. You push aside dreams, goals, and actions that will move you forward. And over time, those delays add up. Think about the skills you haven't learned, the relationships you haven't built, the habits you haven't formed, all because you said, I'll do it later. How many years are you willing to waste? Procrastination is a slow killer. It doesn't show up with a big bang. It quietly chips away at your potential, your happiness, and your success. It's not just the tasks you're avoiding, it's the person you're becoming by avoiding them. If you want to succeed, you have to stop procrastinating. You have to stop giving away your time. Every second you waste is something you'll never get back. While you're sitting there procrastinating, hesitating, or telling yourself that you'll start tomorrow, someone else is taking action. The world doesn't wait for you to catch up. And as much as it hurts to hear this, it's the truth. Every second you waste, someone else is using to get ahead. While you're thinking about what you might do, someone else is actually doing it. This is the competitive nature of time. There's no later. While you hesitate, others are taking the lead. They're moving forward, taking risks, making mistakes, and learning along the way. And with every action they take, they get closer to their dreams. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you don't act, you'll find yourself stuck. Always watching others achieve what you only dreamed about, you can sit there and wait for the perfect moment. Or you can decide right now to move. The choice is yours. But don't wait too long, because while you wait, others are running the race. Enough with the excuses, enough with the later. It's time to stop waiting and start acting. You know what you need to do. You know where you want to go. So why are you still waiting for some magical moment to get started? Let me tell you something. There is no perfect time to begin. There is no moment when everything aligns. The right time is right now. You have everything you need to start. The only thing standing between you and your future is the decision to act. Every step you take today brings you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. But if you keep putting it off, you'll find yourself in the same spot year after year, stuck, waiting and wondering why nothing ever changes. So stop waiting for later. Start now. The time is now. Don't let another moment pass without taking action. If you want your future to be different, you have to start today. You have no more excuses. Here's the hard truth. Your time isn't disappearing by accident. There are enemies lurking in the shadows, quietly stealing your hours and draining your energy. These are your time thieves. The people, distractions, and habits that take from you without you even realizing it. Let's talk about the obvious ones. How many hours are stolen by the endless meetings, the pointless phone calls, or the endless errands you feel obligated to run? Each minute spent on these is a minute you'll never get back. But these aren't the only thieves. There's also the most dangerous thief of all. Your own habits. Those small, seemingly insignificant actions. Checking social media every few minutes, binge watching your favorite shows, scrolling through videos, add up. And in the end, they rob you of your time, your focus, and your future. You might think these things don't matter, but the reality is that every minute you waste is one you'll never recover. And if you don't identify the time thieves in your life, you'll keep losing time until you wonder where it all went. So let's get serious. Who are the time thieves in your life, and what are you going to do about it? We live in the age of distraction. Social media, the news, notifications, alerts, text messages, emails, you name it. And the worst part, they're designed to keep you hooked. They're engineered to steal your attention and waste your time. Every time you pick up your phone, you're falling into the trap. Every time you scroll through Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, you're handing over precious moments that could be spent working on your goals. The digital world is a black hole for time, and once you're in, it's hard to get out. But here's the thing, you're not a victim. You have control. These distractions only have power over you if you allow them to. The digital world doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care if you're wasting your time, but you should care. Imagine how much more you could accomplish if you cut out the noise and focused on what truly matters, if you stopped scrolling mindlessly and started putting that time into things that move you forward. You don't have to let the digital world hold you hostage. It's time to break free. We've all been there, trying to juggle multiple tasks at once, convinced that multitasking is the key to getting everything done, but here's the reality. Multitasking isn't the answer. It's actually a productivity killer. When you're trying to do everything at once, you're not actually doing anything well. Your attention is split, your focus is scattered, and you end up making mistakes, missing details, and wasting time fixing things you wouldn't have had to fix if you just focused on one thing at a time. Think about it like this. You can't drive a car while texting, right? The same goes for your life. When you try to multitask, you're not getting ahead, you're just spreading yourself thin, you're watering too many plants with too little focus, and they're all gonna wither. Instead of trying to do everything at once, focus. Pick one task, commit to it fully, and complete it before moving on to the next. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters with full attention. If you want to achieve your goals, you need to stop multitasking, you need to start focusing. Have you ever found yourself paralyzed by fear? Not knowing what to do next, too afraid of making the wrong choice? That's the thief of indecision and overthinking, and it's robbing you of your future. Overthinking creates a mental loop where you're constantly analyzing, questioning, and doubting. Instead of acting, you're stuck in a cycle of what ifs. And the more you overthink, the less you accomplish. The more time slips through your hands. The truth is, the fear of failure is a powerful time thief. It keeps you from taking action, from moving forward, and from making progress. And guess what? Every time you hesitate, someone else is making decisions, moving forward, and succeeding. The key to breaking free from overthinking is action. Take the first step, no matter how small. The more you act, the less power fear has over you. Action beats overthinking every time. So stop wasting time being afraid of making mistakes. Start making decisions, even imperfect ones, and trust that each step forward will get you closer to where you want to be. It's not just distractions and habits that steal your time. There are people in your life who are draining your energy, taking up your time, and leaving you empty. These are your energy vampires and time leeches. These people don't bring anything to the table. They're the ones who complain without taking action, who constantly need attention but never offer support. They are the ones who thrive on drama and negativity, and they're happy to take up all your time if you let them. The reality is that some people aren't worth your time. They don't contribute to your growth. They don't support your dreams. And while you may feel bad about cutting them out, the truth is, your time is too precious to waste on people who drain you. Start identifying who and what are draining your energy. Set boundaries, protect your time, and don't be afraid to let go of anything that doesn't serve you. You only have so many hours in the day. Don't let anyone take them from you. Time isn't something you should spend, it's something you should invest. Just like you wouldn't throw money away, you shouldn't throw your time away either. But most people don't see it this way. They treat time like a limited resource to be spent rather than a powerful asset to be invested. When you treat time as an investment, you look at every action you take as contributing to your long-term growth. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter and you start putting your hours into things that will pay off. Think about it. If you invested your time in learning new skills, working on your goals, and building relationships that matter, where would you be in a year, 5 years, 10 years? Every moment you waste is a missed opportunity to invest in your future. So ask yourself, what are you investing your time in today? Are you putting your hours into things that move you forward, or are you letting them slip away on distractions and meaningless tasks? It's time to stop spending your life, start investing it. Because every minute you invest now compounds into a brighter future tomorrow. You don't need to do everything to see results. In fact, if you focus on the right things, you can get maximum results with a minimum amount of effort. This is where the 90/10 rule comes in. The 90/10 rule says that 90% of your results come from 10% of the right actions. Think about that for a second. You don't need to do everything. You just need to focus on the things that truly matter. Successful people don't waste time on trivial tasks. They figure out what moves the needle and pour their energy into those high impact actions. Everything else, it gets pushed aside. Ask yourself, what are the 10% of tasks in your life that will make the biggest impact? What are the 10% of things you can do every day that will get you closer to your goals? Focus on that 10% and stop getting lost in the rest. When you identify your high value actions, everything else will fall into place. The key to maximum results with minimum effort is doing less, but doing it better. Success isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. And to do the right things, you need to master the art of ruthless prioritization. The truth is, your time is too valuable to be spread thin across a million different tasks. You need to decide what matters most and eliminate everything else. This is where most people go wrong. They try to do everything at once, and as a result, they end up doing nothing well. Ruthless prioritization means saying no to things that don't contribute to your goals. It means cutting out the distractions, the commitments, and the tasks that don't serve you. And it means making hard choices about how you spend your time. Start by asking yourself, what are the things that will move me closer to my goals? What are the tasks that will have the biggest impact on my future? Focus on those and let everything else fall by the wayside. It's time to stop juggling. It's time to start prioritizing. Time blocking is a simple but powerful strategy for taking control of your day and making sure you get things done. Instead of letting your day unfold haphazardly, you create blocks of time dedicated to specific tasks. Imagine you had a whole day ahead of you, and you could decide exactly how it was going to play out. Time blocking allows you to do that. You don't let your day get hijacked by distractions. Instead, you block out time for deep work, meetings, self-care, and even rest. The key to time blocking is to be intentional. You're not just managing time, you're designing it. And when you design your day, you get more done. You feel more accomplished. You feel in control. Start by mapping out your day in blocks. Give yourself a set time to work on important projects. Give yourself a set time to relax and recharge. And most importantly, protect your blocks. When someone tries to take your time, you politely say no. Time blocking puts you in the driver's seat of your schedule, and it's time to take control. The most powerful word in time management isn't yes, it's no. Here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Every time you agree to a meeting, to a favor, to a request that doesn't align with your goals, you're taking time away from something that matters more. Saying no is one of the most empowering things you can do. It's a way of protecting your time, of setting boundaries that keep your focus where it needs to be. The problem is, too many people are afraid to say no. They're afraid of disappointing others, of being rude, or of missing out. But the reality is, you can't afford to say yes to everything. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to your dreams, your goals, and your future. So get comfortable with saying no. Guard your time like your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. Here's the final question you need to ask yourself. What are you doing with this moment? You see, your future is not a distant dream. It's being built right now, in every action, every decision, every moment you spend. The life you want to create is happening right now. Whether you realize it or not, every second you waste is a piece of your future slipping away. And the more you waste, the further away that future gets. But every moment you invest, every step you take toward your goals, brings you closer to the life you want to live. So take a moment to think, what kind of future do you want? What kind of person do you want to become? And more importantly, what are you doing with your time right now to make that happen? If you want to create the future you deserve, you have to act now. Every moment counts. Every choice matters. Your future is being built right now. What are you doing with this moment? Motivation is a great feeling. It gets you excited, it fuels your fire, it gives you the energy to take action. But here's the problem, motivation is fleeting. It doesn't last. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, other days you won't feel like doing anything. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline doesn't depend on how you feel, it's the force that keeps you going when motivation fades. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what keeps you showing up even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, if you rely on motivation alone, you'll never get where you want to go. You'll wait for inspiration to strike, but inspiration doesn't always come when you need it. Discipline, on the other hand, is something you can control. Successful people don't wait for motivation. They create systems, routines, and habits that force them to take action no matter what. Motivation is unreliable, but discipline is unshakable. So stop waiting to feel like doing something. Build discipline into your life. When you do that, you won't have to rely on motivation. You'll have a system that keeps you on track every single day. What if you didn't have to think about how to manage your time? What if you had habits so ingrained that productivity just happened naturally? That's the power of the automatic time principle. It's the idea that successful people don't manage their time. They design their lives around routines and habits that make success automatic. Think about the most successful people in the world. They don't wake up every day and wonder what they should do next. They already know. They built systems and routines that ensure they're using their time effectively. Whether it's their morning rituals, their exercise routines, or their daily schedules, everything is set up to make time work for them. When you build habits that support your goals, time starts to work in your favor. You stop wasting hours deciding what to do or getting distracted by unnecessary tasks. Your habits take care of the hard work for you. Success isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of the wrong things and more of the right things. So ask yourself, what habits can you build today that will make your success automatic tomorrow? The secret to success isn't big dramatic actions. It's small, consistent habits that compound over time. Think about it. If you commit to making a small positive change every day, it doesn't seem like much at first, but over time, those little changes add up. They snowball into massive results. The ultra successful know this secret. They don't rely on grand gestures or sudden bursts of motivation. They build small habits that move them closer to their goals every day. Let me give you 3 key time habits that the most successful people use. The 5-minute rule. If a task takes less than 5 minutes, do it immediately. Don't put it off. It's simple, but it stops tasks from piling up and overwhelming you later. The first hour strategy. The way you spend your first hour of the day sets the tone for the rest of it. Successful people spend their first hour doing something productive like exercise, reading, or working on their most important task. The energy over time principle, managing your energy is more important than managing time. Successful people focus on doing their most important work when they're at their peak energy level, not when they're drained. These small habits might seem insignificant, but they're the building blocks of success. So what small habits can you implement today that will compound into big results over time? Do you have a routine that's sacred to you? A routine that you don't break no matter what? Non-negotiable routines are a key part of mastering your time. When you create a routine that is so ingrained that you don't question it, you eliminate the need to make decisions about how to spend your time. Successful people know that routines aren't optional, they're necessary. When you wake up, you already know exactly what you need to do. When you sit down to work, you have a clear plan in place. Your routine is your contract with success. It removes the guesswork, the distractions, and the decision fatigue that come with having too many options. When you make your routine non-negotiable, you set yourself up for success. You're no longer at the mercy of whatever happens during your day. Instead, you control your schedule and your time works for you. Start by identifying what your key routines are, your morning ritual, your work habits, your evening routine. Then make them sacred. Protect them. Don't let anything or anyone disrupt them. When you do this, you create a structure that allows you to make the most of your time every day. If you don't take control of your habits will control you. This is the reality for most people. They allow life to dictate their actions, to dictate how they spend their time, and they wonder why they're stuck. The truth is, success isn't just about managing time, it's about mastering your habits. The most successful people don't just react to life, they design their habits to align with their goals. They build systems that automatically make them more productive, more focused, and more successful. And that's the key to time mastery. If you don't take control of your habits, life will design them for you. the distractions will fill your time. The excuses will pile up. And you'll find yourself reacting to every new challenge instead of being in control of your future. But when you take control of your habits, when you design your routines and make them non-negotiable, that's when you start to master your time. That's when you start to win. So ask yourself, are you in control of your habits, or are your habits controlling you? Time is your most valuable resource, but most people don't know how to use it strategically. The secret to achieving extraordinary results lies in something called time leverage. Time leverage is all about finding ways to get more out of every hour. It's about working smarter, not harder. The most successful people in the world aren't working around the clock. They are using strategies to maximize the value of every moment they spend. Think about it like this. Life is a game of chess. The best players don't just react to the moves of others, they think ahead, they position themselves in ways that allow them to control the game. High achievers do the same with their time. They create leverage by focusing on activities that multiply their efforts, whether it's delegating tasks, automating processes, or investing in skills that pay off in the long run. The key to time leverage is to identify what actions will get you the biggest return for your time. You want to focus on things that allow you to multiply your results. This is how you achieve more with less effort. So ask yourself, what can you do today to leverage your time? What can you do that will have the most impact with the least amount of effort? Every action you take today is a step toward your future. Your future self is built on the choices you make right now. It's easy to think of the future as something distant, something you'll get to eventually. But in reality, the future is happening right now, one decision at a time. Every action you take today shapes the person you'll be tomorrow. If you want to design the life you want, you need to start making decisions that reflect your future goals. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today helping or hurting the future I want? This method is simple. Look at your future vision and break it down into the small, everyday actions you need to take to get there. Want to be successful? Start taking actions that lead you towards success. Want to be healthier? Start making healthier choices today. Want to be financially free? Start investing in your financial future now. Start today, and every small step you take will compound into the future you want. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the world. When you build momentum, everything starts moving faster. Goals get closer, dreams become realities. Your life begins to flow in the direction you want it to go. The key to building momentum is simple. You have to take action. Even small actions add up. The more you do, the more you want to do. The more you push forward, the more the world responds. Think of momentum like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but as it picks up speed, it grows bigger and faster. It picks up energy, and eventually it becomes unstoppable. That's the power of momentum in your life. When you take that first step, no matter how small, you start the process, and the more you act, the more you build momentum, and the easier it becomes to continue moving forward. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for things to align perfectly. Take action today and let momentum carry you toward your goals. Once you control your time and make consistent progress, you'll control your life. The clock is ticking. Time waits for no one, and while you sit there hoping for a better moment, time keeps moving forward, whether you're ready or not. So let me ask you, will you move with it? Or will you be left behind? The truth is, every second that passes is a choice. Every minute you spend doing nothing is a minute you'll never get back. But every minute you spend moving forward, taking action, and creating your future is a minute that will pay off for the rest of your life. Time will keep moving whether you act or not. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for things to get easier. Start now. You are the master of your time. You decide what to do with it. The choice is yours. Will you waste it? Or will you use it to build the life you've always dreamed of? Time will keep moving. The question is, will you move with it?